So now it is day 6, and the prompt for Inktober is pierce. And I had in mind to have an arrow piercing something, kind of in a comic perspective, I think. We'll see how it goes. So let's jump into it. Back for another Inktober. This is number 6, which is pierce. I'm just going to pull it out of the paper, out of the stack. And now, yes, Lillian. My cat's staring at me like I'm crazy. I'm going to do, I want to say this. I think it's really cool to use this for black. Sumo grip. On the black paper, thumbs up. Just trying to line this up a little better. Okay, so now I was going to go with, since it's pierce, I'm actually going to go, I didn't know this story according to what I saw online. Apparently, some Swiss ruler forced a guy to shoot an apple off the top of his son's head to secure his freedom or something. And I'm like, what? I didn't know that story. Here, hang on. Now, this is according to Google's AI. An arrow in an apple primarily refers to the iconic story of William Tell, a legendary Swiss archer who was forced by a tyrannical governor to shoot an apple from his own son's head to save their lives, an act that ultimately sparked the Swiss fight for independence. Of course, you know, it's symbolic of risky challenge and stuff like that. Yeah, I didn't know nothing about that. A lot of times you see the cartoon drawing of these and they're always really cute and like arrows all pretty. Listen, if a broadhead arrow goes through this apple, it's going to make a mess. It's cool because there's a video up here. I was looking for, just different ideas of what to do. I actually had in mind, I was actually going to do a fletching way back here, like a huge, like ridiculous perspective for like a comic perspective. But when a broadhead hit, it makes an absolute mess of this apple. So there's a picture over there, which is just obliterating the apple. Now, I wasn't going to do that necessarily. I wanted to do a piercing through. I don't know. I feel like when you see people draw it like that, they've never seen an arrow go through something before. If it's practice arrow, yeah. I mean, if it's got a round, almost bullet-like point to it, then yeah, it's not going to blow the the apple apart. However, if it's a broadhead, it's going to make a mess of that apple. Just saying. I mean, I'm looking at up here. And like, if you put it through there, one of the ways you could do it is to stuff the arrow, the main shaft of the arrow through and then stick the end back on. But I'm telling you, you shoot an apple with a broadhead. Someone's shooting it with a bullet on that picture. That's funny. This is completely off subject. It's frustrating. You go to imagery and it's showing you YouTube videos. Like, come on, dude. I'm actually kind of curious. Yeah, this dude used using a Simmons Great White broadhead, and it just split the apple into pieces. Like, I was looking for a picture of someone actually doing it. I don't know. I've seen what a broadhead will do, and I'm just telling you, it's gonna destroy an apple. So if you're drawing an arrow, I guess the whole point of that was, if you're gonna draw an arrow through the apple, it would make sense if it was a sort of like a practice arrow. If you do, like a broadhead, which is normally, by the way, it's got 2 blades going. Traditionally, anyway, it's a couple different blades going. I can't really describe it right. It's almost like a pyramid shape with blades on all sides, and it pierces and then spreads open. There's a lot of damage, and I know that has nothing to do with what I'm saying. Never a good idea. Don't do it. Yeah, this guy's using a practice. Even the practice arrow is making a mess of it. Completely off subject. All right. Anyway, I just wanted to get a feel for an apple getting shot by an arrow. I think what I wanted to do initially was have like a big fletching back here, huge or flight, the big fat feathering thing, and then the apple over here, and then just like exploded. Let me see if I can do that. I know it's goofy, but I'm going to use an apple as a reference because I'm probably going to do something goofy and forget what it looks like. Okay, that's a red delicious apple. Screw it. That's what we're drawing. And then, so the base of the apple is going to say be over here, and then the arrow is going to come through this side. I'm going to do, maybe the arrow's coming through here, down into here, just like a little practice arrowhead. Not arrowhead, but the head of the arrow is actually a little practice arrow. So I wanted to kind of pull this perspective like really far, something stupid. Yeah, something like the flights on the back. You have the rounded piece of the, might be a little wide. Let's go for something fun, something ridiculously perspectives, something like that. Then the flights or the fletchings or whatever you want to call them, sticking out through this side, making sure that it makes sense to the arrow itself. So we'll just do it on the bottom instead of doing 3. Just do one on top and the bottom, something like that. The back of the arrow is just a rounded piece of wood. Really simple. But then when it's going through the apple, it's going to, of course, hit like a spot in the apple where it's cracked. You won't see this, just like it obliterated the apple. Right. I could do more fletching, but I think this is cool. And I'm going to do a more traditional looking one. Because it's ink, so let's do it old, like something feathered like, It's probably a little small considering the size of this arrow, so I'm going to kick it up. Now, since it's feathers, we can leave it like that and shade it a little differently. I'm okay with that. It's just for fun. I think I will shade it a bit though. Like we'll do give it some woody texture, but maybe something like that. Shade this backside. Okay. All right, then. Now I'm going to draw this here apple. Let's get this apple done. Let's see if I can make an apple that doesn't look stupid. So I usually, actually, it's funny. I say funny, but I'm serious. I made an apple in 3D. Well, without reference, it's not that hard. It's an apple, but it's funny to think, like, thinking about a reference right now. Don't know if I want maybe a leaf coming off this top of here. Yeah, that'll be fun. School apple, Apples tend to have like these rounded bottoms. Depending on what that apple is, they tend to have like this little bumpy, almost like a pepper does. I don't know. I think it's fun. It's a little too wide on the base. Hang on. That should still be rounded. And then, if the light is coming top side, I'm just going to do maybe like a light shadow on this side. But I think also maybe give it some shiny shine over here. This one's a relatively easy one to do today. It's, it's not, I'm not trying to go for anything perfectly realistic. Just something somewhat realistic, but not perfectly so. And yeah, an apple has a lot of waxy texture and stuff too. So it's kind of a hard thing for me to kind of do the way I want. I don't know. No excuses. Let's get it. No excuses. Looks like an apple-ish. I do have red ink. I don't know that I want to do this apple in red ink, but I might try a little. Actually, I have the brush. Maybe I will. I mean, what's the point in having the brush? I'm not going to use it, right? I will at some point use the blue. The blue, I need to use that for something. I don't know what yet. Dang it. Never fails. Got to make a mess. All right, I'm going to try to go red here with this brush. Oh, that's cool. Black's kind of mixing with the red that's in here. Maybe the graphite. I don't know what I'm doing. I'll go back in and tighten up the details, I guess. This would be fun to try to do some red on here. That's interesting, at least, right? Okay, well, I can always come back in here and hit this with black. This paper is really not meant for this. All right, that works for me. I'm good with that. So I'm gonna let that dry up a little bit. I think I'm gonna come back to it and hit it with the black. I am gonna go rinse this off though, because I don't want this to dry on here. I am having to wash my brush. I shall return. It's kind of cool. It's got a little bit of a texture to it. It's kind of nice. And I could use the blue and make a purple to make the shade, but I think I'm just gonna go stark black, just because Inktober, no other reason than that. I like the contrast of the red apple, although I don't have a green, which would be pretty cool. Green or like yellow green would be cool. I don't have that option. I'm really glad these are stamped because I can't tell the difference. I don't know what I'm doing. I do like using this though. It's a different experience. It's not as forgiving as it would be, like, say, with a traditional, with a, sort of like a regular pen. This, however, pen, yellow book, find that anywhere. It's creepy. Now it's a little harder. It's a straight line, that big ass line. I'm gonna do it anyway. Oh, I forgot to put like the apple pieces on the ground or on the table or whatever the hell this is. No, I ran out of ink. Nothing like trying to do a straight line, confident line as best as you can, and then it just gets screwed up because I ran out of ink. Like I said, I'm still very, very new to using this stuff. Don't know what I'm doing. Again, this is my own doing. There's not really any particular rhyme or reason I'm doing it this way. I just am. Looking for that old, that sort of feathered arrow effect. And it doesn't have to be super realistic. I'm just messing around. Like I always say, gonna do a little shading around here, because as it goes around the cone, it tends to shade a little with even with direct light. It almost looks like a cartoon arrow is going through a realistic apple to me. Not that this is super realistic, but I just, because of the texture, kind of cool. I hate that idea. Told you I'm better at painting than I think I am with ink. You know what? Artistic license. I'm gonna ignore that first one I did. I didn't like the way that it lined up just then. Okay, think it the same way. I'm doing this as sort of more of a texture than an exact thing. It's fine if they don't perfectly line up. Kind of fun. Of course, there's like diffuse lighting and stuff like that, but this is Inktober and I'm gonna have fun. I'm not gonna think so literal about it. Of course, I'm gonna do the apple, right? The light, of course I'm gonna do that. Sure, it's completely destroyed anyway. Let me think about this. Arrow light is coming through here. And we're gonna pull kind of bullshit like this. It's pulling back against that way. Think about it. Light's coming this way. Here, it's kind of pushing the light of this thing. Yeah, I really should have planned this part, but it's okay. If the light's pushing back, you're not going to see the fletch, I don't think. Well, maybe, who knows? I'm not that worried about it. Like I said, I'm just having fun. I'm not trying to be super accurate. It's fine. Yes, Lillian. My cat's like just out of sorts because I think because my wife's not here. It's her favorite person. Mine too. Yeah, whatever. That works well enough. I don't care. It's for fun. I like that this is kind of rendered halfway realistically because there's no lines on it. It kind of looks like mixed media and it's not even on purpose. All I was going for was a halfway decent apple, and I might go ahead and ink around the edges of it, but the color's cool. Trying to go heavier handed on this shading too, or on the, wherever there might be some kind of shading. That's kind of cool. Out of place a bit, but I like it. Putting it like that because the arrow is kind of busting through. I'm gonna put some of this definition back into here. Give some depth a little bit, or try to anyway. I've always been a fan of Dr. Seuss's style of ink and stuff, and layered from the Ninja Turtles. Eastman, They do some crazy stuff. Let's go for a little bit of shading there. That's okay. That's not too bad. Now I'm just going to do the pieces that fell out of the apple maybe onto the other side. Now I could make those red, but I think it's kind of cool to leave them like that because, you know, the inside of the apple is not red. So yeah, let's see. I'm just going to think of this back up a little bit. Let me not overwork it, right? No me. Well, I mean, it works. I don't know how accurate the shadow is, but I mean, it's whatever. I know the stem's off a little bit from the center of the apple, but to be fair, sometimes apple be looking like that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, what the hell? I think that's fine. I'm just having a good time. I'm just chilling, really. Just hanging out. My wife's out sourcing for inventory, and I'm chilling here with you. What number is this? It's Pierce. It's number 6. Cool, man. All right, well, that's the end of this one. If you made it this far, again, I very much appreciate you hanging out, and I hope you guys are doing it too. Have some fun with some Inktober, man. Come chill with me. Come do it. Come do some Inktober. It's good for the soul. Yeah, I always got to fiddle fart around a little bit at the end. Anyway, if you like what you see, if you're having fun, if you're learning anything, just chilling, let me know. No, seriously, I very much appreciate you hanging out if you made it this far, and I will definitely catch you on the next one, which is going to be number 7, Starfish, and I'm pretty sure you know what I'm going to draw. Thanks for hanging out, and catch you next one. Peace.